On May 7, 2024, just after 1:15 p.m., Whitehall police were alerted via flock cameras to a stolen vehicle taken during a previous aggravated robbery incident in Columbus. While the chase originally began in Whitehall, Whitehall police requested assistance from Columbus police.
He just slowed up, looks like he's making a U-turn, pretty good around.
The two suspects led police on a chase in the stolen vehicle, then got out and stole another vehicle. During the chase, the driver of the stolen Hyundai struck a police cruiser head-on near Climb and River Bend roads in southwest Franklin County. 3 other cruisers were damaged during the chase. As the chase continued, an officer used a pit maneuver, causing the Hyundai to crash into a tree. Officers took the teens into custody. Both have a history of stolen cars and are being held in juvenile detention until their next hearing. In South Los Angeles, a suspect makes things risky for everyone, and events take a shocking turn.
We're slamming on the brakes and going back onto the shoulder here. There's a parked car. We're going to go onto the sidewalk now. It's going to be hard to see here as we go under a tree. We're going to see that car come back out.
It's a terrifying day as the police chase a black car on the highway. The driver is proving to be troublesome. He weaves around traffic and stops expertly. The car avoids traffic by passing a sidewalk under a tree and comes on the road again. He leaves the cop car behind.
And it looks like we may have had some contact here between the suspect vehicle and that silver Nissan over there on the right side. And it looks like this driver almost in a panic now in a truck.
The car drives straight into another congested road, blocking his path to an easy escape. The cops close in on the car, but a silver mini truck reverses and bumps into the suspect's car. The suspect has been blocked, giving the cops a chance to make an arrest. On May 20th, 2023, at 3:21 p.m., Arkansas State Police Trooper Jackson Shoemate initiated a traffic stop on a black GMC Sierra at U.S. Highway 67 South at the 3-mile marker, along with Trooper T. Van Schoik and Trooper A. Escamilla. The vehicle was known to be driven by 42-year-old Christopher Monroe. Police attempted to box him in, but failed, and the chase ensued. Early in the interaction, Trooper T. Van Schoik attempted to PIT the vehicle, but ended up sliding into a concrete barrier instead. Despite this failure, the police continued to chase Monroe as speeds climbed. Monroe and the pursuing police cars crossed over the Arkansas River, reaching speeds of around 120 miles per hour. Monroe then turned around and was hit from behind by police a few blocks later, causing his truck to roll. The GMC eventually hit a brick wall and came to a stop on its wheels.
Looks like we're going to be going south on MLK.
Due to the forceful crash, the police car itself nearly flipped. Monroe was then removed from the car by police who had surrounded it.
Got a rollover.
Hit and rollover.
Many speculate what led to this highway chase. The danger in this is beyond what the cops expected.
So that is at West Florissant and 70. Again, Margie, this is a very dangerous situation, and this is one of the reasons why it is.
The cops chase the suspect in the gray Jeep. It's unknown what caused the chase, but the suspect drives at frightening speed on the highway. The cops try to close in, but they are hesitant to use aggressive means to stop him on the highway.
They're stopping the vehicle right now, right off of Riverview Avenue and I-70. So you can see all the police cars there, and the police are now out of an unmarked car as well as the marked vehicles, and they do have
The car goes off the highway, veering to the left into a neighborhood. However, the cops are now close enough to stop him. The driver takes the initiative to stop. Immediately, the cop cars fill the area. The driver sticks their hand out of the car in surrender. He gets out of the car, and he is arrested. On Friday, May 28, 2021, St. Louis Metropolitan Police officers attempted to pull over 32-year-old Darn Ricks on Pennsylvania Avenue near Cherokee Street in connection to an armed robbery investigation. Ricks drove erratically through streets with children present, reaching speeds over 100 miles per hour. The vehicle eventually crashed in the 3700 block of Nebraska. Ricks stopped on Nebraska Avenue, stepped out of the car, and fired at the officers. An officer leaped out of his truck and returned fire. As Ricks ran, the officer fired 4 shots, then lowered his arms briefly, ran, and fired 8 more times.
Oh shit! On Nebraska, police squad. 2-1, shots fired. He's still running northbound on Nebraska up to Winnebago.
One of the most disturbing cop chases that many will find hard to explain. This vehicle, shrouded in haze, will chill you to your bones. Cops chase the suspect's car off the road. The suspect's vehicle leaves a trail of smoke obscuring the car. When the cops return to the road, it becomes evident they are chasing a school bus. A dangerous man stole the bus. The cop car drives off the road through a cornfield. Dust fills the air and the bus can't be seen yet. Soon after, the bus appears, driving back on the road. The bus goes off the road again but finally stops. Cops circle the bus and aim at the driver with their guns, ordering him out. They drag him out of the car, arresting him. On May 24, 2023, Cobb County police officers located a stolen vehicle driven by an armed robbery suspect on I-75 SB. The chase began after the driver attempted an armed robbery and then stole a pickup truck. As traffic became congested, the driver shifted to the road's shoulder and eventually attempted to take an exit ramp. When one of the officers used his vehicle to ram the suspect's truck, it came to a stop. Police swarmed the area and drew their weapons as the driver tossed his firearm to the ground but held a knife to his throat. The driver eventually discarded the knife and laid it down on the ground to be handcuffed. "I just wanted to get away," the crying man was heard saying.
Man, why y'all do that to me, man? I was just wanting to get away, man. I just wanted to get away.
For minutes, a suspect does the most disturbing things on the highway. Late at night, on this highway, the cops chase a silver car at dangerous speeds, with the wind whistling harshly into the cop's car. The cop car is about to overtake the car, but the suspect blocks their path.
We slowed down to 63 in this curve. I'm fixing to try to end it. TBI.
The cop makes contact with the suspect's car, making the suspect's car spin and veer off the road sharply. The suspect stops and the cop asks him to go to the ground. The cop makes a peaceful arrest. Cody Davis was found guilty of 6 crimes connected to the high-speed chase on Ryan Street on April 10th. Video footage shows him ramming other vehicles out of the way and driving on the wrong side of the road. He was caught ditching a stolen gun, which can be seen bouncing on the pavement. The pursuit of the convicted felon driving a stolen truck ended in a dramatic crash. While escaping the cop chase, the criminal was not prepared for how things would end. The footage from the cyclist's dash cam shows him riding on a grass field. The police siren is close. The cops are chasing him. He takes a meandering path to confuse the cops. A cop tries to tackle him off his bike. He's too fast to be caught. The cop chases him. He drives off the road again to hinder the cop from chasing him. This path is unfamiliar to him. He rides headlong into a tripwire on the way. He gets off this entangled bike and runs on foot. He runs into the woods and hides, hoping to escape the cop. He rests, tired. He returns to where he lost his bike. As he tries to take his bike, the cop arrives and apprehends him. On June 7, 2023, around 8 p.m. officers in Dayton observed 57-year-old William Gerald Jerry Hefner driving a red pickup truck. The officer began to pursue the truck, and the driver fled.
Yeah, 340 dispatch, Anna on West 2nd. Continuing north on Anna, Jan F7481, red Ford F-150.
Dashcam footage shows the truck speeding through stop signs and red lights, nearly colliding with several cars. Hefner drove across yards and grassy areas to evade the pursuing officer. The chase ended when Hefner took a wide turn and hit a pole near the intersection of Salem Avenue and Denlinger Road in Trotwood.
Eastbound on Hoover. On the Gunther, north on Gunther.
Something dangerous lies in wait. Neither the suspect nor the cops saw it coming.
Westbound on Corrales Road, now on Oregon Road, northeast. Westbound on Oregon Road, northeast. We got OP.
This police helicopter follows this suspect's car as it escapes. The suspect is driving fast, trying to escape capture for a suspected murder case. At the moment, no cop cars are chasing him on the ground. A cop car begins to chase the suspect. It seems the suspect might have escaped using the winding streets to throw off the cops. The cop is still able to keep up. The suspect stops and the cop parks beside the car. The man leaves his car and is arrested. On April 6, 2024, at around 4:58 a.m., West Valley Division patrol officers were traveling west in the 18500 block of Sherman Way. As they approached the intersection of Sherman Way and Reseda Boulevard, they noticed a gray 2019 Lamborghini Huracan stopped for a red traffic light with the driver asleep. The officers repositioned their patrol vehicle behind the Lamborghini. When the light turned green, the officers activated their emergency lights and siren and conducted a traffic stop on the Lamborghini. An additional patrol unit stopped to assist. The driver, 51-year-old Elliot Dugan, was found to have multiple felony warrants, and the Lamborghini was reported stolen.
How's it going, sir?
How's it going, man?
Good.
Do you have a driver's license on you? And registration for the vehicle?
After repeated attempts to get Dugan to exit the vehicle, he sped away from the scene at a high rate of speed, initiating a vehicle pursuit. During the pursuit, Dugan lost control of the Lamborghini, colliding with the center median and several trees. The force of the collision ejected Dugan from the vehicle. He was found deceased several hundred feet away on a nearby sidewalk. The Lamborghini was split into two main sections, and debris from the collision damaged multiple parked vehicles along Sherman Way.
10847, let me have the frequency. Vehicle is TC'd, major TC damage.
The cops never expected to chase a suspect hiding inside a disturbing cruiser.
I apologize, Sandra. It's a little difficult to with so many sheriff's vehicles out here to actually nail down which one it is. There's a number, I believe it's 74.
The helicopter follows the police cruiser because it has been stolen. The suspect escapes with the car and drives to a dead end. To not be caught, the suspect drives into a commercial lumberyard, trying to find another exit. The cops are following closely.
All right, looks like we're working out our audio issues from Sky Fox. We have Kevin Takumi, another Fox 11 colleague.
The cop cars circle the cruiser, blocking the suspect's exit. Their method is ineffective as the cruiser escapes again. The suspect escapes through the entrance they took earlier to enter the yard.
They was making a left turn there.
Yep.
So they had to squeeze around. Now we're on a smaller commercial street here.
A cop car tries pinning in the suspect, but the cruiser glides through it. The suspect drives into the cordon prepared by other cops on the scene. There is no escape for the suspect. On October 7, 2022, at about 1:29 a.m., New Haven police responded to reports of a car accident near the intersection of Chapel Street and Blatchley Avenue in the Fairhaven neighborhood. Shortly after arriving at the scene, the driver of the vehicle opened fire and shot Officer Chad Curry, striking Officer Curry twice in the shoulder and ear.
Fucker!
Officer Curry alighted his vehicle to return gunfire, and the suspect fled the scene.
Yo, stop fucking...
The biker might have thought himself smart, but his perilous end was smarter. The cops have been chasing this biker for miles. He has successfully evaded the cops for a while now. However, the cops have now encircled the bike on the road. He escapes once again. Tactically, the cops circle the biker on the road again. This time, the encirclement looks tighter. The blue cop car blocks the bike's path, making it hard to overtake the cops again. The biker is knocked off the moving bike, injuring him. They arrest him regardless. A wanted man from Alberta led police on a 12-minute chase Friday, reaching speeds of 90 miles per hour before being caught in Foley. The suspect cut through a trailer park, a neighborhood, and several business parking lots in Foley before being stopped. Authorities have released dashcam video of the chase. It started at a home on Old Foley Highway in Alberta and ended in the McDonald's parking lot in Foley 12 minutes later. Alberta police were already at the home to serve an arrest warrant on 46-year-old Charles William Moore when Moore pulled in and saw an officer.
All right, now we're finna go in the Mallard Point.
301 Georgia.
Another officer picked up the pursuit as Moore crossed back over Highway 59 and into the McDonald's parking lot. Police ended the chase by wrecking Moore's car. Moore fled on foot and ran inside the O'Reilly Auto Parts store next door, where police arrested him without incident. The nature of this suspect in this car chase is unbelievable. The police had expected someone else. The cop is on his routine patrol and sees a car with a suspended tag registration. When the cop initiated a traffic stop, the suspect set off. The cop gives chase. The suspect goes over the speed limit to escape the cop.
Show me your motherfucking hands! You stop right there! Do not move! Passenger, get your...
The suspect's car begins to slow down, and it seems one of the car's tires has gone flat. The police stop beside the suspect's car and order him to cop out with his hands up. A teen girl in the passenger seat comes out with her hands up. The driver, also a teenager, exits the car, complying with the cop's directives until he is arrested. In this gripping dashcam footage, Dallas police officers begin their pursuit of 4 crews, responsible for over 40 business robberies across the city.
RV Mike 3085.
A car hastily reverses and speeds off from a cell phone store on East Ledbetter Drive around 11 a.m., with 3 police officers closely following, guns drawn towards the vehicle. The robbers are chased down, with guns aimed at one of them as he lies on the floor with his hands over his head. Police vans surround the culprit, leaving him no choice but to surrender.
22 Maryland, second one's in gunpoint. Nope, I got him.
And the 22 Maryland
Many blocks flash by to this giddy suspect, but something special lays at the end of the road for him.
Peachtree Road, northbound, coming up to Osborne.
The suspect is in a blue jumpsuit and riding a bicycle on the highway. He rides directly in the middle of the road, which is not safe. The bicyclist veers off to the sidewalk, and the cop makes a sharp turn to block his path. The suspect evades the cop car, escaping. The cop chases the suspect far from his initial meeting point. The cop keeps a tight space close to the edge of the road, forcing the suspect to ride into the other cop car. A well-coordinated pincer attack. Police dashcam video shows what happened on November 2015, when officers stopped an SUV containing 2 suspected shoplifters. The driver, 25-year-old Laquandra Borden, re-entered her car after being questioned and started to drive away with 2 officers hanging on.
Yes or no? I can't talk to you until I get that.
Waive my rights. I don't want to waive my rights. You don't want to talk to me about talking?
After she crashes into a patrol car, she backs up and then drives away, all while another officer tries to pull her out from the passenger side. Several officers followed in their patrol cars. One officer discharged his weapon, shooting Borden in the arm. She was charged with a number of offenses, including shoplifting and hit and run.
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car!
The danger seems low, but the stakes become high as the suspect does something incredible.
10-3, 10-3, someone just hit him into the woods. Send him in.
The cops chase a suspect who stole a police car and is using it to escape. They chase the suspect to this woodland, knocking the car off the road. The suspect crashes the car into a tree and flees on foot. The cops search the crash site for the man. Surprisingly, he runs out of the bush close to the cops. He runs to another free cop car to escape in it. A cop stops him, pointing a gun at him. The cop is unable to stop him, and he successfully escapes with the car. The stolen car now has flat tires, and the suspect is forced to stop on the side of the road. Immediately, cops gather around the scene to arrest him. The suspect exits the car, lying on the floor. He is cuffed swiftly. Police are searching for 3 men who attempted to steal about $5,000 worth of merchandise from Home Depot. 5 men loaded 2 cars with merchandise around 3:45 p.m. in the back parking lot of the store in the 19100 block of Interstate 45.
2010, we got 2 pursuits going on.
2 of the men fled on foot south on David Memorial Drive and entered a wooded area east of the roadway. Simultaneously, 2 getaway vehicles attempted to exit the parking lot. The vehicles collided before one, a black Dodge Charger, struck a Shenandoah police cruiser, causing minor damage. The getaway vehicles drove northbound on David Memorial Drive, with the Charger turning west onto Alexandra Lane. It struck a curb, causing the front right tire to come loose. The Charger turned south onto the northbound frontage road, but the loose tire came off and narrowly missed an SUV. The disabled Charger stopped, and two men, identified as Daryl Lee, 20, and Devonta Lee, 17, allegedly fled east on foot back into the Home Depot parking lot.
Coming up from Hinesview.
This suspect drives behind a dangerous wheel. The end of this pursuit ends in ways you wouldn't have imagined.
Fairbanks, North Houston, Mike? Okay. Yeah, just to the north of Fairbanks, North Houston, out here on 290 as the car slows. And this is always a dangerous situation.
On a busy highway, a suspect escapes a persistent cop chase at top speed. The suspect's car has lost its left backside tire, yet he keeps driving, despite the danger. The car begins to slow down, allowing the cops to come close. The cops are not too eager to engage with the suspect yet, fearing he might be armed.
Approaching the police. Is that a woman? In a typical fashion, backing up toward them with their hands out. There's another person that's gotten out of the car. Now, I don't know whether that was the driver that slid over on the passenger.
The car eventually stops. The suspect's passenger comes out with hands in the air in surrender. The first person is cuffed, while the other suspect, probably the driver in black, also gets arrested. Seconds later, the car catches fire. On August 22, 2022, at approximately 1:18 p.m., Oklahoma City Police responded to reports of gunshots at 2221 SW 78th St. Deputies from the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office exchanged gunfire while serving an eviction notice, resulting in two deputies being shot. The suspect, 35-year-old Benjamin Plank, fled in a vehicle towing a boat with several firearms. Oklahoma City Police spotted Plank and initiated a pursuit.
Officer Boxwell set up on the inside shoulder of southbound Interstate 35 around Southeast 25th Street.
Plank fired a rifle at officers while traveling northbound on SI 35. The officers returned fire, but did not cause any injuries. The pursuit continued eastbound on I-40, exiting at Air Depot. Boulevard Plank stopped at the Tinker Air Force Base gate and surrendered.
Hey. Stop! Bro, stop! Put your hands behind your back.
You might imagine firefighters coming to rescue you, but have you stopped to consider who or what is behind the wheel?
I've got a unit at the 114, set up specs.
Temple, sir, our aircraft should be launching now.
Ahead, a fire truck is driving, but there aren't any firefighters in the truck. Rather, it's a suspect who stole the truck while the firefighters were distracted. The cop car follows the truck, keeping a safe distance. The truck stays ahead of the cops. The suspect drives with the police hot on his trail till they reach a gas station. He parks and jumps out of the car with his hand in the air. A cop forces him to the ground, arresting him as he resists. A high-speed chase in Canadian County ended in a crash near the Cimarron Road exit. It started as a routine traffic stop on I-40 when authorities said Andrew Sawyers of Florida was traveling at a high rate of speed through a construction zone.
It's going right around the 106 eastbound with Florida, Adam, Ocean, George, Union 10.
When the driver was asked to step out of the vehicle, an OBN agent noticed him putting something in his jacket pocket. The agent asked the driver about it, and the driver pulled out a handgun, dropped it, and then fled in his car. The driver headed eastbound on I-40 at speeds over 100 miles per hour for 25 miles. The chase ended when the driver crashed into trees after exiting at Cimarron Road.
Let's go home, please. You're gonna get tased. On the ground. Go, go, go!
The suspect is determined to escape no matter what it takes, but is his means good enough? The cops chase a suspect escaping on a motorcycle on the highway. He has eluded them for a while now. They're closing in on the suspect. A cop car bumps into the bike to knock him off. The engagement between them is getting heated. A cop car makes it hard for the suspect to overtake them. The suspect tries weaving around the cop cars, but the lead cop car proves to be his match. Unable to carry out a maneuver, the suspect falls off his bike. He tries escaping on foot, but he won't escape the cops. On November 22, 2023, Seattle police, with the assistance of King County Sheriff's Office Air Support, pursued and apprehended a drive-by shooting suspect. Shortly after 2 p.m., near the intersection of 4th Avenue South and South Lucille Street, police located a vehicle suspected to be involved in a drive-by shooting. The vehicle was reported stolen and was also associated with a reported burglary. When officers attempted to stop the vehicle, it took off at a high rate of speed. Officers pursued the vehicle and eventually stopped the pursuit using a pit maneuver in the 900 block of Airport Way South. Engines have a funny way of behaving, and this suspect's engine does the most disturbing thing to them. While on patrol, this cop notices a red car speeding inordinately. Immediately, he follows them. The cop matches their speed to catch up. One of the suspects in the red car is sitting on the window frame, probably recording the chase. The driver blows his engine, trying to distance himself from the cop. This affects the car, and they are forced to stop soon after. The cop orders them to turn off the car and get out. The driver lies on the floor about to be arrested with his accomplice still in the car. This new dash cam video reveals a wrong-way police chase on Highway 401 that tragically ended. A U-Haul truck going the wrong way was pursued by about 20 police vehicles, leading to a chaotic situation,
including at least 7 giving chase in the opposite direction to traffic. That's more police cars than previously reported.
The incident in Ontario turned tragic as it resulted in a crash involving a family, claiming the lives of a 3-year-old boy and his grandparents visiting from India. The baby's parents, who were in the vehicle, were rushed to the hospital.
The family's loss in that fiery crash is now becoming clearer.
The police chase reportedly began with a liquor store robbery, where suspects threatened an off-duty policeman with a knife. The 21-year-old U-Haul driver was found dead, and another person was severely injured and taken to the hospital.
Police cars gave chase, but investigators wouldn't comment on media reports saying the pursuit had actually been called off before reaching the highway.
The cop chases an eluding suspect, but this chase takes a wrong turn quickly.
675 CENTCOM, we have 2 Acoma units behind us. Can you advise them to only support for traffic control? Slow down.
While the cop patrols the highway, he notices a car switching lanes recklessly and tries to get close to make a traffic stop. The car immediately takes off, almost disappearing. The cop does his best to keep up.
45.
Contacted another vehicle. It's going to be out 89.
89, multiple units calling.
The suspect has been driving recklessly at ridiculous speeds. He bumps his car into another vehicle on the road. The civilian's car is knocked off the road while the suspect's car flips over. The police approach the car, ordering the suspect out, and they arrest him. This intense body cam video shows a Tempe police officer chasing a fleeing burglary suspect through backyards and over fences this Tuesday. Thanks to neighbors' help identifying the suspect, police caught this burglar who left evidence inside the home and was wearing victims' clothes. The cops close in on the suspect, but what they do next boggles minds. This biker rides at extreme speeds, and when he discovers he's been chased by the cops, he goes faster. He takes a rough terrain to appear on another street in a bid to shake off the cops' chase. He is not able to leave the cops behind. They chase him hotly. A van suddenly appears in his field of view, and a passenger uses pepper spray on him. He has a helmet on which protects his eyes. He swerves around the cop van, escaping. A police chase that began in Tinley Park ended violently in Chicago Friday morning when a car full of alleged armed robbers crashed into a police SUV, resulting in the deaths of 2 suspects and injuries to 4 Chicago police officers. The deceased suspects were identified as Jimmy Malone, 26, and Ronald Arrington, 22, both from the 12400 block of South Union Avenue. None of the officers suffered life-threatening injuries. All 4 were in the SUV that was hit by the other car at the intersection of 124th and Union in the West Pullman neighborhood.
Oh, shit! Kyle, give me fire! See if you need to scatter to a 1050 with him. Give me fire out here!
The chase began after an armed robbery at a Tinley Park restaurant. It spilled into Chicago, prompting CPD assistance. Witnesses reported the car being chased slammed into an unmarked police SUV, which then crashed into a corner home, destroying a metal wheelchair ramp. The pursued car rolled over, with all 4 occupants injured with 2 critical cases. Speed feels glorious to escaping suspects, but the end is not so perfect. A suspect skips a red light, and before the cop can make a traffic stop, the suspect drives away quickly. The cop has to chase him. The car accelerates, ignoring the police siren. The cop steps hard on the accelerator to catch up to the escaping suspect. He sees the suspect's car has crashed into another car and flipped over.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Put your hands behind your back.
The suspect is dragged out of the car and immediately arrested. A Fridley police officer suffered minor injuries in a crash involving another car Friday morning. The officer was heading southbound on University Avenue NE near Mississippi St. NE with emergency lights, attempting to catch up to a semaphore violator. As the squad car proceeded through the intersection, most traffic on Mississippi St. yielded for the squad, but one vehicle did proceed through and struck the squad. The squad, a 2015 Ford utility, overturned and landed on its roof. The officer, who was wearing his seatbelt, was taken to a local hospital. The adult male driver and adult female passenger in the other car also suffered minor injuries. The passenger was also taken to an area hospital. The driver is cooperating with police, and there are no indications of impairment. The semaphore violator was not identified and did not stop at the scene. A bump on the road, and the suspect might just have his worst nightmare on his heels.
Tango Delta Echo 8162. Looks like we're turning right on the last complex before Curtis.
The suspect refused to stop when the cop tried to make a traffic stop. He drives away, forcing the cop to chase. The suspect veers into a neighborhood street, always staying ahead of the cop car, not stopping. The cop bumps into the rear of the mini truck, sending the vehicle spinning off course.
Come on. Let's get it.
We're only running about 40. There's no traffic.
The road the cars are on is too small for the cop to make a pit maneuver. The cop is waiting for his chance. Successfully, the cop makes another pit maneuver, and the cops block the suspect in a circle. They get him out of his car and arrest him. On March 11, 2024, Fayette County deputies located a silver Honda Civic that had been carjacked at gunpoint earlier in the morning. Investigator Fisher found the vehicle at HWI 85 South and Stonewall Avenue and notified dispatch and fellow deputies. They prepared for a felony stop, with multiple deputies in the area. Sergeant Akin took the lead on the pursuit. The driver crashed into road signs, mailboxes, and another vehicle before exiting with a weapon. Initially armed, he surrendered when he realized he was surrounded.
Show me your hands! Hands up! Put your hands up! Get on the ground! Drop the gun! Drop it! Hands up! Get down! Get on the ground! Get away from that gun! Put your hands up!
Snow might look harmless, but when the right cop knows how to use it, then it can prove fatal.
It's the middle of winter in Minnesota, and this officer notices a car with absolutely no license plates on it. Unbeknownst to the deputy, the
cop pulled over the black SUV in a traffic stop. When the cop approaches to interrogate the suspect, he drives away. The cop runs back to his car to chase the suspect. The suspect flees quickly.
All of that is at the end of the video.
Take it out for me.
Copy with direction, what color?
Green to gray, Yukon.
The chase continues, and the suspect drives into a backed-up snow-covered ground in a neighborhood. The cop uses the terrain to his advantage, using a pit maneuver to push the SUV into the snow near a house. The suspect shows his hands, surrendering. A woman reported that her Subaru Outback and belongings were taken by suspects, who drove off in the car. She called 911 from a nearby gas station and worked with police to track her Subaru. A shell casing was recovered from the scene. Around 9:30 p.m., officers responded to an attempted carjacking at gunpoint in the 2200 block of Finney Avenue North in the Bitter Lake neighborhood. The suspect abandoned the vehicle and attempted to flee, but was pursued by a police dog and officers. Officers attempted to stop the young suspects near Wallingford Avenue North and North 82nd Street, but they sped away from police on State Route 99 in the stolen car. The pursuit ended at 7th Avenue North and Thomas Street. During a foot pursuit, the 12-year-old and 13-year-old boys tossed their guns, but were both arrested.
On your stomach now! On your stomach! Do not move!
This disturbing chase leaves the cops stunned as smoke fills the air.
That is correct. We just passed Shannon Road. We are now approaching Noel Bixby.
The suspect flees in his sports car, and the cop chases him at bewildering speed. The cop almost closes in on the car, noticing the car's side tires are faulty. The suspect's car is now smoking from the tires as he keeps up his speed, driving recklessly.
We're still eastbound on 33, probably about a half mile from East Ebro.
The car can't go at such high speeds again, else he risks getting into an accident. He slows down and parks off the road. He tries fleeing again, but the cops pin his car down. He comes out of the car and is arrested. The Tulsa Police Department has shared dashcam footage of the pursuit of the most wanted suspect, Madison Dixon. Unfortunately, Dixon was struck and apprehended by a Tulsa police cruiser after exchanging gunfire with officers near 91st Street and Harvard Avenue on Saturday afternoon. Where this suspect runs to get away from the police chase genuinely surprises the cops. On a busy highway, a biker rides at perilous speeds. He had fled a traffic stop. A police helicopter is tracking his movement. The biker gets off the road, dumping his bike and rode on foot. The suspect runs to another highway and jumps the fence to get to the other street. He lies on the grass, calling someone with his phone. The cop cars arrive quickly to capture him. Knowing he can't run anymore, he surrenders himself for arrest. Denver, Colorado. On June 7, 2023, at about 7:28 p.m., a ShotSpotter alert for shots fired was dispatched for the area of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Cherry Street. As the suspect fled, he turned towards the officer, changed his grip on the gun, and fired at the officer, hitting him once. The officer returned fire, hitting the suspect multiple times.
You go that way. Drop it, motherfucker! I'm gonna shoot you! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it!
Both the suspect and officer were taken to a hospital. The suspect was initially in critical condition, but has since been released and is now in custody at the Gilliam Youth Center. The officer was treated and released.
Yeah, hit me, bro! I'm gonna fucking kill you, I swear to God! I'll fucking shoot you, show that arm! Do you understand? I will fucking blow your head up! Do not move! Do it? Do not move! I think it went through my back. I'm bleeding all over.
No place is safe when you're being chased. The shock of this proves fatal for the suspect.
Continuing westbound on Sherman Way and...
The cops are chasing this motorcyclist. The cops believe he is armed and dangerous. They keep their distance, following slowly. The bike speeds up and makes a U-turn, taunting all the cops chasing him. He flees without haste.
By Cohasset here now, he's going to go right through some crime scene tape. This is the area where there's a standoff going on with a suspect.
The biker rides all the way to presumably what should be his house. The cops surround him, shooting him with a taser. Unarmed, they arrest him. In this video, troopers followed Sanchez into Elmore County, where he lost control of his pickup around milepost 84. The pickup drifted into the median and nearly into oncoming traffic before swerving back onto the highway and off the right shoulder. The vehicle rolled over, ejecting a tire and Sanchez, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, into the air in a cloud of dust. He ran away from the wreckage, crossing the interstate with Trooper Kenny Walker in pursuit.
Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground now!
Copy, visitor.
With all routes blocked, the suspect makes a desperate shot at freedom. The cost might be high. The cops chase a suspect fleeing in a dark gray SUV through a deserted road. The helicopter tracking his movements keeps the cops on the ground abreast of his movement. The driver circles back to leave the area.
Got him.
The cop car engages the suspect's car with a pit maneuver, which fails. The suspect has driven himself to a dead end. When he tries making another U-turn, the cop slams into his car. The suspect then drives into the woods. The suspect walks out of the woods to be arrested. Dramatic body cam footage shows unarmed police officers chasing down a teenage gunman near a school and detaining him in the street. Johnny L. Barrett was wrestled to the ground and found with a loaded revolver after being arrested on a Birmingham road.
I am 1-5. We've got one from that car just by the prison. I'll get your road name shortly. Foundry Road.
They activated their blue lights in an unmarked car, prompting Barrett to flee. Officers pursued them on foot and tackled them to the ground on James Turner Street.
Got anything else on you, kid?
No, I don't.
What's in there?
Just my
Got a knife or anything?
No, I'm not sure.
No sharp?
Just my hand.
A strange old man finds a sad end to the cop chase. But at what cost? The red mini truck bumps into the cop's car. However, when the cop tries to make a traffic stop, the car keeps on going. The police chase him. The cop makes a pit maneuver, stopping the truck. The suspect comes out of his car, an old man. He complies with the cop's orders and gets cuffed. On March 24, 2024, around 11:05 a.m., 77th Street Division officers responded to a domestic violence restraining order violation in the 1700 block of West 59th Street. As the officers arrived, they saw the suspect, Brian Garay, in front of the residence. Garay fled, and officers pursued him on foot. A taser was used, and Garay was struck in the chest and stomach, causing him to fall to the ground.
Hey! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Stay by!
He was taken into custody, and Los Angeles Fire Department personnel transported him to a local hospital. Garay was admitted to the hospital in critical condition, but has since been updated to stable condition. No officers or community members were injured during the incident.
Turn around! Turn around! Turn around!
The cops thought all hope was lost in the chase. But is that truly the case?
Minutes ago, it started at Southgate.
The cops chase a motorcyclist in the night. They use a pit maneuver, knocking him off his bike. The suspect then runs on foot, escaping capture. He seems to run faster than he rides. Then he climbs over a fence, but this gives the cops ample time to catch him. At dusk in Florida, a suspect wanted on multiple charges fled from a traffic stop, sparking a dramatic police chase that lasted over 5 minutes. The pursuit ended when 3 police vehicles surrounded the suspect, leading to his arrest. He was handcuffed and placed into a police van as night fell. While in a hot pursuit, this suspect does what no one expects. It's a tragedy. The suspect rides at extreme speeds, past the speed limit. Cops chase him after he zips past a traffic stop with no registration tag. A few blocks later, he throws a backpack from his bike. He arrives at a gas station and steals the gas ejector from another car to fuel his bike. With a full tank, he rides to a shopping mall in Pasadena. The Pasadena cops quickly apprehend him. On August 30th, 2021, around 12:40 p.m., U.S. Marshals requested assistance from the Macomb County Sheriff's Office to stop 32-year-old homicide suspect Kamari Kennedy. Kennedy, driving a town and country minivan, was spotted by undercover agents and followed northbound on Groesbeck. A Macomb County Sheriff Sergeant identified the vehicle at Groesbeck and Cass in Matt Clemens.
Out there, anybody?
We're going to see if maybe we can get some from Sterling.
Okay, this vehicle is occupied twice. I got a passenger also.
When the sergeant activated his lights and sirens, Kennedy fled on the shoulder, initiating a pursuit. The chase ended when a second deputy intervened, causing the minivan to crash into a parked vehicle. The cops then ordered Kennedy to show his hands and remain still. He was eventually arrested.
All right, I'm going to need the ambulance. Start the ambulance.
I'm going down the way. You just need one way.
This suspect flees in his car, but whatever chases him seems to be invisible. Weird how things turn out. The suspect in a silver SUV breaks quite several traffic laws, going at insane speeds on the road.
And going extremely fast and disregarding traffic laws and going around cars. And this is a car that we've been watching since it was going north.
The suspect parks at a shopping center's garage and runs into the building. No ground cops are chasing the suspect yet, but she runs from the mall towards a residential area. The suspect, a man, hides in a bush. He takes off his jacket and jogs on the sidewalk. He walks towards a cop and peacefully gets arrested. On April 15, 2021, Jeremy Thrasher, 22, led Michigan State Police on a 10-minute chase from Comstock Township through downtown Kalamazoo, going the wrong way through the city's busy one-way streets.
Northbound on westbound on Charles.
Thrasher, who was wanted for an April 13th shooting, crashed his vehicle on North Park Street and fled on foot before being apprehended by police. He is awaiting a preliminary examination and faces multiple felony charges related to the shooting and chase.
He's now heading south on Wallace Street.
A fatal hug does the most damage as this suspect gets to learn. A cop car rides ahead of a silver car, hindering its path while another cop car comes from being with a grappler. The grappler works, bringing the car to a halt and ending the chase.
He's got long arms there. That's a serious weapon that he just pulled. That's not a handgun. That's a rifle.
Wow.
The cop drives back to pull the car back, while the suspect drives forward to resist the pull. Still, the grappler does its job, keeping the car in place. At 5:40 p.m., officers spotted Bresnahan driving near Dale Mabry Highway and Spruce Street and began following him. 8 minutes later, he pointed the gun at the officers, who then chased him. The officers attempted to stop the chase using spike strips, but Bresnahan drove around them.
You can have one, vehicle one. Let's get one marked cars up here.
We got anybody northbound up towards
The pursuit was headed northbound on Florida Avenue when he crashed into a blue car occupied by both a driver and passenger near the intersection of Gladys Street. Immediately after the crash, Bresnahan opened fire on TPD officers. 18 officers returned fire, striking and taking the life of the man.
Shots fired, shots fired. We've got multiple shots fired.
When the suspect thought he could trust his skills, reality gave him a real-time lesson. The suspect in the black car escapes police pursuit at blinding speeds. However, the driver cannot contend with the speed he is going and begins to lose control of the vehicle. The car crashes into the side of the road's partition, skidding dangerously on the road, almost crashing into a car. The police surround his car. The first suspect jumps out of his and flees on foot, jumping off the road and escaping. The cops catch the other suspects before they jump. The video shows 17-year-old Nichelle Hill fleeing from police during a traffic stop at Omaha and Heartland Drives. Hill was initially pulled over after a report of a package theft on Arrowhead Drive. The entire incident lasted under 5 minutes. Dashcam footage shows an officer following Hill's vehicle and enacting emergency lights. Hill stops for about 15 seconds before speeding off. Hill continues at a high speed, making several turns on residential streets. After about a minute, she loses control on Heartland Drive, crashes through a tree, and her vehicle flips before resting on its wheels. The suspect has planned a sinister attack. How will he achieve it, though?
Stop your car, dude. Just let it come to a stop. Okay, pull it over here.
The driver pretends to be totally compliant.
The suspect runs a red light, and when the cop tries to pull him over for a traffic stop, the suspect acts as if his car has an issue. The cop stays back, not leaving his car because something is off about the driver. The suspect drives away. The suspect put his hands out of the car as if he was ready to surrender. Another cop car arrives to back up the cop on site. The suspect flees, seeing he's outnumbered. He crashes into the front lawn of a home. He runs on foot to escape the cops. Los Angeles, California. On January 14, 2024, at around 8:51 a.m., Los Angeles police officers observed a blue Audi SUV driving recklessly near 6th Street and Whitmer Avenue. The driver was later identified as Mark Gonzalez. After following the vehicle for several blocks, the officers initiated a pursuit. During the chase, officers crashed into a light pole and lost sight of the vehicle, ending the pursuit. An air unit later located the Audi near Pico Boulevard and San Pedro Avenue, where another unit resumed the chase.
We're going to be southbound, correction, eastbound 12th Street.
The pursuit ended at Hooper Avenue and 12th Street when Gonzalez lost control and hit a curb. Gonzalez exited the vehicle with a handgun and walked toward an arriving Rampart unit. Despite multiple orders to drop the weapon, Gonzalez raised the handgun, prompting an officer-involved shooting. He was struck and collapsed on the sidewalk. Officers rendered aid until Los Angeles Fire Department personnel arrived.
We had 12 and Hooper.
Get on the fucking ground.
Okay, got a bill, Hispanic, black, got out of the driver's seat, walking off the big rig.
Games and reality are vastly different. This suspect learns the hard way. The biker rides at top speeds and switches lanes dangerously close to the cars. He waves at cops, teasing them with the speed at which he's going. He then drives off the road, and his next actions are unpredictable. The suspect gets off his bike and goes to his knees, nauseous from the speed at which he was going. Two cops on bikes approach him and apprehend him. He's unable to resist. On August 22, 2022, just before 10:30 a.m., Kennewick Police Department officers responded to a report of a person sleeping in a vehicle parked at Circle K on 7707 W Deschutes Avenue 2. Benton County Sheriff's deputies nearby assisted. They attempted to wake James West, who appeared to be inserting a screwdriver into the ignition. When ordered out of the vehicle by an officer, West reached for a firearm and then fled.
Out of the car! I have a condition. Get on the car, go on the ground. I have a condition. I have a condition. Leave me alone. Get on the car. Leave me alone. On the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
West ran north on Columbia Center Boulevard, where an officer's taser failed to stop him. He proceeded toward an apartment complex at 425 North Columbia Center Boulevard, drew a gun from his waist, and ignored repeated commands to drop it, firing his weapon before running into the complex.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! King 911 dispatch, he's got a gun! Get on the ground!
The suspect had thought of his escape, but when it was time, the worst happened. The suspect on his bike rides on a lane for incoming cars at top speed. He is risking his life and the lives of others. He makes a U-turn and drives on the sidewalk to escape the cops. The suspect enters a neighborhood and soon after falls off his bike. He runs on foot, but the cops catch up to him, arresting him. For the highlight, this suspect does the unexpected to escape a pursuit. Was it worth it? The cops chase a fleeing motorcyclist who drives recklessly at a high speed. The suspect ditches the ground cops, but the helicopter tracking him shows him riding to the parking lot of a shopping mall, driving into a glass pyramid. The suspect rides into the shopping mall with his bike, endangering innocent lives. Cops chase him on foot. He escapes the mall, throwing the cops off again. He escapes the cops for miles until he is stopped. Newly released body camera footage shows a 12-year-old boy leading Doña Ana County deputies on a pursuit and crashing on September 12, 2021. The sheriff's office received calls about a juvenile recklessly driving an SUV in Las Alturas, New Mexico. Deputies tried to stop the vehicle, but the juvenile evaded them. He picked up 3 passengers, aged 12 to 15, in a parking lot. The vehicle stopped. The passengers exited, and the driver continued through parking lots. The chase ended when the SUV collided head-on with another vehicle while driving in the wrong direction. Deputies found 9mm ammunition and a discarded handgun. The 12-year-old, seen crying, was questioned as paramedics arrived.
Out! Out, fucking car! The fuck out! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! The fuck out there! Get down!
Florida Highway Patrol has released dash camera footage of a trooper apprehending a suspect after he intentionally struck her patrol car with his vehicle and then led her on a high-speed chase through bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Florida Turnpike.
20 out of Florida, Echo, November, Yankee, 3-1, driving on the shoulder.
Trooper Franceschi pursued the Honda as the driver sped down the emergency lane and the shoulder of the highway, past thick traffic. The trooper was able to conduct a pursuit intervention technique, pushing the Honda into a wall and making it impossible for the suspect to escape. This police chase leads to a weird situation many struggle to understand. The motorcyclist seems to have escaped a police pursuit and has arrived at a deserted dump site in the woods. He parks his bike under a tree and calmly takes off his helmet. Cops in the air capture him changing out of his clothes. Cops march onto the property about to make an arrest. They are unsure if he's armed.